Okay, so good day, guys. This is a discourse on the topic uh, ethical standards and procedures, no, which must be observed by registered psychologists and psychometricians, specifically in their functions along assessment. So there'll be um, I'll be focusing rather on the code of ethics for Philippine psychologists and psychometricians. And uh, in the latter part of the discussion, I will be also highlighting the code of ethics for registered guidance counselors. Specifically, the theme of this discussion is on psychological assessment or testing. Okay. So, as you have heard, um, we will be looking specifically on uh, the code of ethics. So, as you know, psychologists, psychometricians, and guidance counselors are professionalized fields. So, um, your Psychology Act and the Guidance and Counseling Act um, are the very laws, no, that would regulate these professions. And so, upon the legislation of these laws, um, there is also an issuance of the Code of Ethics, no, practically by the PRB, Professional Regulation Boards of these fields, no? Psychology and psych for psychology rather, and that for guidance and counseling. So we will not be discussing the entire code, but we will be focusing only on assessment, no? Um, Practically because these would uh, be of help to you. Uh, this would uh, hopefully guide you should you later on practice, no, especially if your function would, if part of the function that would be expected of you is on assessment or testing. Okay, so the first part therefore would be ito pala guys ay yung recent revision. Okay, kasi there had been during the issuance, no, with the issuances of the Code of Ethics, meron ng second revision. So sa psychologists and psychometricians, the latest revision was issued in 2022. No? For psychologists, the latest revision was issued in 2021. And included in these revisions definitely are uh, the, I mean, most likely these revisions were able to capture the contemporary issues like say for example we have teleassessment, no, telecounseling. So um, you may want to look into these revisions so you could check, no, into how different the latest revision is to the first revision of the codes I mentioned. Okay, so as I mentioned, the first part would be on, I mean, specifically referring to psychologists and psychometricians. So I would just like to highlight that this has to do with the specific functions of psychologists and psychometricians along assessment. Okay? So, um, specific na po tayo dun sa provision na tinutukoy ko. So we look into this provision is on item 7, no? I mean numerical number 7 of the 2022 revised copy of the Code of Ethics for Psychologists and Psychometricians. So it says here that the expert opinions, no, that of course psychologists and psychometricians, no. So yung pronoun na we dito ay tinutukoy o tumutukoy sa mga psychologists at psychometricians. So that the expert opinions that these professionals provide through their recommendations, reports, and diagnostic or evaluative statements are based on substantial information and appropriate assessment techniques. Okay, so I would like to underscore that if and when you do assessment, no, um, as you have learned, no, assessment versus that of testing, no. Assessment is a broader concept, and it usually encompasses a broader range of methods, no, of actually evaluating uh, um, the IQ, or whatever characteristic the person has, no? So, um, your report, should you come up with a psychological report or any recommendation for perhaps therapy or even for medication, of course, you could not do that unless you are a psychiatrist and a psychologist at the same time, no? But should you be given that task of actually coming up with a psychological report, then you cannot do that unless there is a substantial source of information. Okay? And we always would take into consideration, you see, the appropriateness of the assessment techniques we have employed in coming up with these reports. So we ask ourselves, no, have we complied to ethical standards in terms of the uh, assessment tools? Are the assessment tools culturally appropriate? No? So we always have to consider whether or not we adhere to certain guidelines, no, particularly um, pointing out to fairness, no, cultural sensitivity, no, um, and the like. So uh, also expert opinions regarding provision of opinions regarding the psychological characteristics of a person only after employing adequate assessment procedures and examination to support conclusions and recommendations. So I think this is in connection to number 1, that indeed you base your um, reports or characterization of the person, particularly in terms of his or her psychological functioning, from adequate assessment procedures. Okay, so kumbaga parang ito ay inihahalin tulad ng kapag ang isang doktor ay nag-diagnose ng isang sakit o ng sakit natin, no? So that the diagnosis is premised not only from the interview with the patient, but with with other objective um, assessment procedures like um, you ask the patient to go through laboratory examinations, no? To check on other factors, no, which are vital or which are important to take into consideration so that you could have a clear picture of the diagnosis. So ganun din po sa assessment. Okay? In instances where we are asked to provide opinions about an individual without conducting an examination on the basis of review of existing test results and reports, we discuss the limitations of our opinions and the basis of our conclusions and recommendations. So we must not, of course, um, over uh, interpret uh, well, uh, that is of course needed, no? Especially if you only have limited information at hand, no? Or especially if um, you yourselves you did not personally actually, no, especially if you did not personally examine the individual, no. So katulad halimbawa kapag ang isang pasyente ay bago sa iyo, ni-refer lang siguro siya ng isang doktor, no, and you are to you cannot actually um do a diagnosis just based on previous diagnosis of other doctors. You may, but it will not be as objective as it should be, since this data or information you have are secondary data or secondary information. So same is true with assessment in the context of psychology, no? Um, you cannot while you can use it as your basis, but you cannot actually have a comprehensive grasp as to how well the person functions psychologically, no? If your basis or if your premise um uh of looking into his or her psychological functioning are secondary sources of data, no? So may mga limitations 'yan. At ang mangyayari niyan ay opinion perceptive, no? Perceptive ang iyong magiging um, pangalan niyan, um, yung magiging yeah, it would only talk of your perception or of your opinion of the person based on the existing test results, no? So secondary source of information, um, while it may serve as basis, would not in any way um, be a comprehensive what it would not in any way be a comprehensive source of a sweeping conclusion or recommendation for the person. Okay? Test results obtained in or from teleassessment procedures can be used as basis for making decisions about clients or test takers as long as these are administered by qualified professionals following prescribed assessment standards. So, one thing is clear that the code is now opening the idea of teleassessment, no? In the advent of natural diseases like what transpired during the pandemic, no? Um, we could not, of course, stop from delivering our services to the community. And hence, there can be an intervention or integration of technology in our service delivery. So in teleassessment procedures, um, it's accepted, no? Even in counseling, no, there's such thing as telecounseling. Okay, so while this may be accepted, no, it has to be ascertained that still the guidelines as to how we obtain the data, no, must be followed. So first and foremost, that the one who does the testing or the assessment is a qualified professional, and that there is still compliance to assessment standards, no? So there would be we will look into literatures, or we will look into literatures that would lay down the standard when it comes to teleassessment. Okay? Then next, we gather informed consent, okay, prior to the assessment of our clients, except for the following instances. First, when it is mandated by law. Second, when it is implied, such as a routine in educational, institutional, and organizational activity. When the purpose of the assessment is to determine the individual's decisional capacity. So the the uh, the standard is clear that irrespective of the purpose, no, uh, the the requirement of informed consent is there, no? So it is mandatory, no? The only exception are the following cases, no? So if there is a court order, no, um, or if it's mandated by law, then this informed consent can be dispensed, no? In routinary activities like in schools, no, in organizations, for instance, HR related assessments, no? So these are actually the exceptions. Okay? But again, as I mentioned, the the standard is that we obtain informed consent. Okay? So um, still in relation to informed consent, okay? Remember that the right, no, of the test taker, no, is of course um, of prime consideration, no, in testing, no? So the right of the client, no, is very essential, no? And hence one of in fact constitutional right 'yan, kahit nga sa ating batas, no, ay ina-underscore o pinapahalagahan yung um, privacy, no? And hence when there are processes or procedures, no, like that of course require our consent, like in this case assessment and testing, then it has to be observed, no, ethically, no, because this is one of the foundational principles, no, when it comes to testing and assessment. Okay, so uh, we educate our clients about the nature of our services, financial arrangements, potential risks, and limits of confidentiality. In instances where our clients are not competent to provide informed consent on assessment, we discuss these matters with immediate family members or legal guardians. Okay? So, um, remember that if a client is minor, no, um, the informed consent must be sourced from the parents. For the reason that a minor, no, uh, doesn't have yet the legal capacity to actually give, no, his or her consent. Okay, and hence the reason why we seek the parents' consent, no, when we do psychological assessment or testing. Okay, um, in any uh I mean, irrespective of um, who the client is, whether the client is minor or not, we have to observe what? Confidentiality. Okay? So, I'm sure you know what it meant by confidentiality, not only in terms of uh, the data, no, that we obtain from our clients, but I mean the personal data, but even but this extend even up to the test results. Okay, so um, if you sought the consent of the parents for the psychological assessment or testing, later on these are the very persons who also have the right to have access of the results. No, um, um, without consent, there can be no other persons who could access the result. Unless, again, balik tayo doon sa tatlong exceptions. Okay? So kung court order yan, natural, the court has to obtain the result, no? Um, with or without the consent of but usually with the consent still, or with prior information on the part of the client. Okay? So, um, like, what about testing for research purposes? So, ito pa rin, no? Babalik pa rin tayo dito sa mga factors na andito, no? Potential risk, confidentiality. Is it not that when you, for example, do research and part of the process that you um, employ so that you could gather data is testing? Is it not that you uh, you asked for an informed consent, right? You asked them to sign the informed consent, manifesting that they actually um, understand, no, what for is the process that they are to undertake, the potential risk. So these, I think, are being taken into consideration, no? When you ask your respondents or even your subjects, no, to participate in your research. Okay? Uh, itong informed consent in human relations, this provision actually discusses informed consent. Okay? So, you may want to personally look into the provision. But definitely those uh, information that I shared, no, are the ones that we are to emphasize. Okay? So we also have, in instances where a third-party interpreter is needed, the confidentiality of test results and the security of the test must be ensured. The limitations of the obtained data are discussed in our results, conclusions, and recommendations. Okay? So, especially in um tools, no, which are foreign authored, no, and you have clients who are locals, no, and who could not understand, for example, English, and so these are limitations, no. So when you do the psychological assessment, part of what you should jot down would be these concerns or issues, no, especially if you are confronted with these issues or concerns. Definitely, should you be using third party, no, either in the test administration, uh, or even in ano, kapag ba ako ay intern, no, merong supervised assessment or testing, no? Am I not a party? Definitely, you can be considered a third party. But even if you're a third party, you are bound by the confidentiality clause. No? Having knowledge, for example, of the client, of the test result of the client, you are bound by the confidentiality clause. So you don't have any right, for that matter, to divulge or to disclose information within the assessment context. Okay? In teleassessment, we inform test takers of the implications of poor internet connectivity during the test taking session and their test performance, particularly for timed assessments. Because these are limitations, no? Whether we like it or not, while technology facilitate development in whatever field, no, there are also um, downsides, no, of technology. And of course, one of which would be internet connectivity. When you do teleassessment or computer aided testing, no, one of the factors that would be out of your control as a test administrator is the efficiency of the technology, no? So internet connectivity may not be so stable, and that would in one way or the other affect the testing and eventually the result of the testing. Okay? And so this should be taken into account. Okay. Now on assessment tools, one of the roles or responsibilities, no, of administrators. I'll be doing another video lecture on the general guidelines, no, for test administrators. Okay, but definitely um one of the roles or responsibilities that test administrators have is that they must judiciously select and administer only those tests which are pertinent to the reasons for referral and purpose of the assessment. Okay? And that is why you must be one with competence, professional competence, meaning to say, since you are given the wide latitude of discretion to decide on what assessment tools to use, no? Taking into consideration the purpose of the assessment and the reason of referral, no? Then what? You must have knowledge, no? Not only knowledge, no, but basically the professional competence, no? In selection and administration of the assessment or of the test. Okay? Use data collection methods and procedures that are consistent with current scientific and professional developments. No? So, again, it underscores scientific what methods or uh, approaches to assessment and testing. No? So, um, use tests that are standardized, valid, reliable, and has a normative data directly referable to the population of clients. No? So again, the concept of appropriateness, no? Fairness, cultural appropriateness of the test, no? um, are being highlighted here. We administer assessment tools that are appropriate to the language, okay, competence, and other relevant characteristics of our clients. So I think I made mention about cultural appropriateness. Now, the question is, based on your observations, no, while there may be local made test, no, this can be counted by our fingers. So there there's a few no local made tests no taking into consideration perhaps the rigorous process of developing a test, no? Particularly measuring a certain psychological attribute, be it personality or IQ, no? Um, or perhaps resilience, psychological well-being. No? So, konti po, pero meron naman. No? Meron namang mga Filipino-made psychological test, pero sa katulad nga ng nabanggit ko, nabibilang lang po sa ating mga daliri. No? Ngayon, um, ano usually ginagawa natin? We adopt. No? So, there are ano naman, there are a lot of standardized tests, no? In fact, if we perhaps if I would ask your experiences, no, particularly as test taker, because of course during your undergrad most probably um uh, in one way or the other you have experiences taking some psychological tests, no? So usually yung binibigay sa atin mga foreign author. Okay lang naman kasi ito naman ay katulad na nabanggit ko standardized. Yun nga lang yung siguro cultural appropriateness, no? Ang isa sa mga magiging issue natin. Kaya anong ginagawa natin? Nag-a-adapt tayo. We adapt, we translate, no? And then we establish the local norms, no? The psychometric property of the locally adapted and translated tool. Okay? And that is just fine. Okay? Now, ito yung isa sa mga issue. We use only original copies of test materials, not photocopies. Okay? So, well, this might have what? Issues on practicality, issues on the prices of price of psychological test, no? Kasi mahal, 'di ba? Kapag ikaw ay bumili ng isa pang karagdagang answer sheet, mayroon karampatang value 'yon. Hindi naman libre 'yon kasi one one set of psychological tests, no, would of course include in it only a number of answer sheet, no? So, anong ginagawa usually, especially in academe sa context ninyo, malamang yung mga in-exam nyo noon ay mga photocopy din yung ginamit nyo kahit nga questionnaire ay mga photocopy, no? Sabi ng PAP, bawal 'yon. Okay? Bawal 'yon. Actually, kapag nagvi-visit ang PRB psychology sa mga schools, yun ang tinitingnan, yung mga original na kopya ng answer sheet, ng questionnaire. Okay? Kasi katulad nga ng sabi dito sa Code of Ethics, kailangang original yung kopya. Bakit? Ano kaya ang pwedeng impact kapag hindi original? 'Di ba? Kasi pwedeng hindi maganda yung pagka-photocopy. Meron bang ano yun? Meron bang corresponding impact sa test score? Possible, no? Okay. Then what about on provisions of the Code of Ethics, no? As authored by PAP, uh, specifically on obsolete and outdated test results. So, it's a no-no. It's one of the prohibitions. Oh, that should you come up um with decisions, no, um with interpretations, with recommendations or conclusions, it must not be sourced from outdated test results. Meaning to say, kailangan tinitingnan din natin kung yun bang test na ginamit natin ay um, updated ba? Ibig sabihin ay recent revision ba? No? Um, kasi ah, maaaring hindi na mini-measure kapag kasi outdated ang tendency ay, ah, hindi na kasi yun yung call of the time, no? So, hindi niya na nakaka-capture yung contemporary characterization siguro ng ah, um, construct na mini-measure natin. Okay? So, kasi napansin ninyo, may mga revised, no? Like, yung WAIS-R, di ba meron yung Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale Revised. So, ibig sabihin, merong mga revisions tong mga test na ito. At yung mga revisions, yung mga latest revisions, yun ang mas nagre-represent ng contemporary evaluation ng intelligence na construct. Okay? We do not provide interpretations, conclusions, and recommendations on the basis of obsolete test. So, na ano lang siya, na doble lang siya. Okay? Then, interpreting assessment results in fairness to our clients under no circumstances should we report the test results without taking into consideration the validity, reliability, and appropriateness of the test. We should therefore indicate our reservations regarding the interpretations. That's why I would always say that when we do our psychological test report, no, um, there must always be what reservations. No, I mean that when we craft our statements, no, that the statements must always take into account, no, the possibility that you see this result might only be what uh, a representation of the picture of who the person is, no? So, meron yung gamit tayo ng mga terms like is likely to manifest, no? Okay, so tendency, yung mga he tends to based on the result, it shows that he tends to or that the client tends to, no? So these are more likely tendencies, no? We interpret assessment results while considering the purpose of the assessment and other factors such as the client's test-taking abilities, gender, characteristics, situational, personal, and cultural differences. Because these are very factors that could, in one way or the other, affect the test result. Okay? So, even the environmental context of the testing area, no, could be also a consideration. And hence, this always has to be taken into account when we do when we interpret the test or when we do the test report. Okay? In terms of releasing of test data, it is our responsibility to ensure that test results and interpretations are not used by persons other than those explicitly agreed upon by the referral sources prior to the assessment procedure. Okay? So that if the reason for assessment or testing is upon referral, then the person who referred, no, the client, no, um, with along with the consent of the client himself or herself, no, must be taken into consideration. So, um, uh, pangalan niyan, like siguro I could give a concrete example, no, in our university, no, um, should there be cases where there is a need for the referral of the student to the behavioral medicine, no? Our campus guidance coordinator, in the person of Doc Sylvia, no, would of course refer the student to behavioral med, usually kay Doc Ethel, no? So, um, um, if the usually, no, the student, no, if the student actually consents, no, that he uh, pero syempre there can also be exceptions depending on the gravity of the case of the student, no? So, um, pero definitely kung sa counseling nga sinesecure mo pa rin yung consent, so gano'n din po sa referral. So, 'pag ni-refer 'yan at nagbigay ng consent yung estudyante at mag-a-undergo siya na siyempre ng assessment, 'no, for purposes of, diagnosis. Then yung yung feedback ng kung ano ang nangyari, eh, definitely, kasama sa mabibigyan ng, ah, feedback ay yung nag-refer, 'no? So, aware, for sure aware yung bata na yun yung process, 'no? But, of course, 'no, it has still, uh, to take into consideration the consent of the client, okay? Um, um, ito kasi katulad ng binabanggit natin kanina, 'no, dun sa naunang slides, yung yung concept ng informed consent, okay? So we do not release data in the forms of raw. Siyempre, kapag ikaw ay bigay ng result, eh, hindi maintindihan ng isang kliyente na wala namang background sa psychology ang raw score or ang scaled score, no? Mas maintindihan niya yan kapag in-explain mo yung result at meron ba siyang ano ma'am, right na to understand the result on his own context? Definitely, no? So, sabi diyan, no release of data in the forms of raw scores, clients' responses to test questions or stimuli, and notes regarding the client's statements and behaviors during the examination unless regulated by the court. So you could not in any way share these, no, unless uh, upon court order or you take into consideration yung exceptions na nauna. Okay? We release test results only to the sources of referral and with a written permission from the client if it is a self-referral. Okay? Where test results have to be communicated to relatives, we explain it through a non-technical language. So for purposes of them being able to understand the result, then it has to be communicated in a non-technical language. We explain findings and test results except when the relationship precludes the provision of explanation of results and it is explained in advance to client. Okay? So the first the standard is that um, when you share result, it has to first be to the client and then to the one who referred the client if there is referral. Okay? Um, uh, but still, respecting the client means getting his or her consent, except if, of course, he could not give his consent. No, if minor, then the parents are also what given the right to obtain the result. Okay, when test results needs to be shared, okay, it has to be upon the supervision of the test administrator. Oh, when explaining test results online, clients may request from psychologist or psychometrician if the session can be recorded. So even the recording, no? In fact, even in telecounseling, like there was a program of the LGU then on mental health line. And when we respond to uh, callers' concern, no, or to clients' concern, we ask their consent to record the interview or the communication. Okay, so the same is true with teleassessment. Okay, now in test security, at all costs, it has to be secured. No, it must be placed into a secured place. No, of course, must be handled by a qualified or a licensed user or personnel. So I'm sure you know the concept of qualifications, no? Based on the levels of test. I think we have discussed this already. And so you go back to that topic, no? And determine as to who um, are considered as qualified and licensed personnel or test users, no? Now, assessment, how about when assessment is done by unqualified persons, no? Um, um, Kapag ikaw ay wala pang lisensya at under ka sa supervision ng isang merong lisensya, ang tawag sa iyo ay technically unqualified. So, ito yung mga trainees, no? Like in cases of internship, no? 'Di ba? You don't have yet the license but you are to administer the test with the supervision of one who is qualified, no? For the purpose of you actually gaining the experience of how is it to do the testing, the scoring, the interpretation, and even the drafting of the psychological report. Okay? Ang clue word dito ay always with adequate supervision of one who is qualified. We ensure that test protocols, their interpretations, and all other records are kept secured from unqualified persons. Like the concrete example is when you are in an office, for example, a guidance office, no? Where part of the services is testing. Tapos iisa yung computer na gamit. Doon na rin yung encoding ng test result. Kung minsan kapag merong system na gamit, doon din yung checking, no? So paano 'yun, ma'am? Pwede bang gamitin ng intern? Okay? So, well, you always have to be liable, accountable. The one with license definitely is one who is accountable, no? Doon sa part ng intern, wala siyang ano doon, walang mawawala sa kanya kasi intern siya, no? Wala pa siyang lisensya. Pero ikaw na merong lisensya, that's your accountability, that's your liability. And hence, at all costs, at all times, we have to what? We have to be very careful. So, that means, yung folder halimbawa ng mga test results, kailangan naka-secure yan, dapat merong password. Yung ikaw lang ang pwedeng maka-access. Okay? Unless for purposes of what? Training for purposes of training the intern. No? Siguro dun sa aspetong um, i-check niya at interpret niya yung in-administer din lang niya with your supervision. Possible. Pwede. No? As psychometricians, we practice under the boundaries prescribed in RA 10029. We operate under the supervision of a registered psychologist when applicable. Although there is already a new issue once that when it comes to testing, a psychometrician can stand alone. Dati kasi kapag merong psychological report, na ginawa ng isang psychometrician, it always has to be signed by a psychologist. Pero ngayon, meron ng latest development dyan na the psychological report done by a psychometrician can stand alone even without the signature of the psychologist. Okay, test construction. We develop test and other assessment tools using current findings and knowledge appropriate psychometric properties validation, and standardized procedures. So as I mentioned earlier, the process of test development, even the process of adapting and translating standardized tests is very tedious and rigorous. Okay? Bakit? Kasi maliban sa maraming mga statistical tools na iko-consider, no? Um, sabi nga diyan, appropriate psychometric properties, no? The process itself speaks, no, of how rigorous it is, no? So much more if you do test development ng ano na locally made, no? Kasi it has to be pre-tested, it has to be post-tested, no? And then um, you have to ensure everything, no, in terms of validity, in terms of reliability. So it's not an easy job, no, but it can be possible for one who is perhaps very much interested in psychometrics or in test construction. Okay. Now, this time we look also on the code of ethics, no, or ethical standards for registered guidance counselors, no. Um, this is the latest revision issued by the PGCA in 2021. Okay? Again, ang ating emphasis is on the provision of the ethical standards for RGCs along psychological or counseling assessment. Okay? Ayan, chapter 5 actually nung latest revision ng Code of Ethical Standards for Counselors. So, sabi dyan, counselors based upon the agreed terms and conditions to inform the clients about the purpose and results. No? So what is the purpose of testing or purpose of assessment? No? And what are the results? Of course, the one to whom the counselor owes the result is to the client. Test selection and evaluation counselors must have the competence to evaluate the psychometric properties. Okay, that's why you have to understand the concept of or the concepts of statistical concepts or reliability, validity, norming. Okay, so you go back into our discussion on or onto the discussions you have had on these concepts. Test competence. Counselors must be competent in administering, scoring, and interpreting psychological tests and other assessment tools used. Okay? And competence that does not only has to do with knowledge, no? Uh, um, skills as well, no? Um, you must also ensure that you always update yourself to contemporary trends in psychometrics, no? And even in terms of um, your reservoir of your knowledge, your reservoir of knowledge in assessment tools, no? With that, no, you could be assured, no, that you manifest test competence. Purpose and results of assessment. Counselors inform clients about the purpose of the assessment, the procedures involved, and the interpretation of assessment results. So, ganun din yung mga nabanggit natin kanina doon sa psychologists and psychometricians, kailangang alam din ng kliyente at kailangan may responsibilidad ang counselor na sabihin kung para saan. So, in the context of education, when you administer test based on your uh, psychological testing program, no? Is it not that before, when you craft your psychological testing program, you lay down the objectives, basically taking into consideration what is it that you wanted to assess, what for, no? It would be the test results, no? And of course, in relation to what tests are available in your respective schools, no? So, when you do this, okay, um, in the actual test administration, your clients, the students, no, specifically, no, must be made aware of why you're doing this. Okay? So, siguro ang isang kailangan din natin i-consider yung Data Privacy Act, no? Kasi um along with the Code of Ethical Standards, no, there must be consistency also of the provisions to laws to the other laws of the land, no? So in this context, we have the Data Privacy Act because what we do in testing is that we obtain information from our clients. Not only personal information, but even the test itself, no, which would yield to a characterization of their um, self. No? That I think is a very critical information that we process as test administrators or as counselors, and hence we are always made liable whenever these are disclosed or provided to people who are not supposed to have access of this information. Okay? Administrative and supervisory conditions, counselors ensure that the conduct of psychological assessment is consistent with professional standards. They report any departures from standard conditions. So that when there are violations, parang ganun yun eh, when there are violations of the provisions of the ethical standards, then counselors, especially those who know such case, no, must report the case. Okay? Test data utilization. Okay? So, it must be from a battery of test, no? So, hindi pwedeng, katulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, hindi pwedeng, I mean, comprehensive dapat yung assessment natin. Okay? Ah, test confidentiality, alam na natin yan. Computer-generated test, especially when you make use of technology of computer, especially when you do administration, scoring, interpretation of test. Remember, always, no, reliability and validity, and of course, confidentiality as well. Updated data, counselors utilize assessment data based on assessment recommendations, no? So again, in relation to obsolete data, dapat updated ang gamit. Intellectual property, counselors safeguard and respect the publisher's intellectual property rights of psychological assessment. Therefore, no reproduction in relation to no use of Xerox copied materials. Maintaining test security, counselors maintain the integrity and security of test and other assessment techniques, no? As professionals in the field, no, it's also the responsibility of the counselor to always ensure that test uh, or other assessment tools used, no, are secured properly. Okay? So I think that's the end of the slide. If you have reached this far in terms of the discussion, then congratulations. Um, Thank you for listening, and till the next video lecture. God bless, guys. Bye-bye.